Welcome back to another Rising of the Shield hero. Today is episode 20. Hi, I'm Justin.
What is up? I'm Logan.
And together we're Couch Talk. I don't know why I almost forgot what our channel name was. As always, I read the manga. Logan's an anime viewer only, and we're going to discuss it and give our scores at the end. You ready?
Let's do it.
So, honestly, we get a quick glimpse of the queen who's on her way to put down the Pope and all his fall. Stop him to help the heroes. But yeah, a lot of this episode is just straight up fighting the Pope.
Right.
With a lot of, like, some conversations and
It's mainly, yeah. It's pretty much the fight. We'll just say it's the fight because I mean it is the fight. It ends with the ending of the fight. To me, well, there are some moments, but like to me, the fight felt dragged on quite a bit, especially since it was last episode as well, and kind of the episode before.
Yeah, and some of the stuff is like kind of a repeat of things that have happened before. I'll talk about when we get there. But like actually we're almost there. So obviously the Pope's sacrificing his people to keep giving him more power because it's God's will. Always, crazily religious types out there. But like the other heroes call him out for his overpowered rage shield or curse shield.
Right.
And this is where it kind of like repeats. Normally he releases it. The difference is the dragon actually talks to him now. But then it's the same process of his teammates coming up to him, pulling him back out. And it's like, and that's dragged out. And it's like, we've already done this multiple times.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's really repetitive, and it's funny because like when he's talking to the Rage Shield, it's giving, more flashbacks like around him, like, oh, your team was there for you, they're always there for you. It's like, we get it. Like every time he goes through this Rage Shield, it's like, oh, my team is there. Like, we know. Like it seems to just, if you do it so many times, like as a viewer, I'm gonna lose care and interest for the Rage Shield, because it's like, well, his team will just, we're here for you. Oh, he saved. It's like, I know this time I guess it was a bit more severe, but when you keep doing it.
Well, they set it up too, like he was going to do it himself, like say, no, I don't want this, and be able to like pull it in under his own control.
Right.
But then at the end, he still goes into that I'm going to burn everything mode, and then it's his teammates that pull him out. It's like, oh, it felt like he was about to be able to pull in this power under his complete control where he won't have to worry about the side effect anymore. But then it's just, no, he needs his teammates again, and he can just basically almost feels like he can freely use this as long as he has his teammates there.
Right. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It feels like a cheap like trick to like end the fight in a way, because I mean, most of these fights, I'll say Shield Hero does not have like the greatest of fights. There are some fights here and there, but they kind of just like shoot stuff at each other. And then,
it's the same moves over and over.
Right.
But you could also say like it's kind of like their early level still, so it's like they don't know a whole bunch of moves yet.
I mean,
so
if you think about it as a game, like, yeah, that's realistic. You obviously use the best move all the time. But like watching it, it's like, okay, they just kind of shoot stuff at each other. Raphtalia will get her like single slash in.
It's like you have a sword, a bow, and a spear. They all do the same thing. They all shoot from long range.
And I think that's
the sword's not even slashing like up close, really. The spear's just shooting fire bolts from his spear a mile away. It's like, what's the point of having all these different weapons if they all do the same thing?
Yeah, I think that might be part of the issue as well. Like, I mean, it's cool as a weapon. Like, oh, this spear can do all this. It can shoot stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But when like they use it to fight, it's like they're just literally pew 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. That's literally the fights. It's like shooting back and forth, and it's like, okay, it's not really interesting. It would be cool to see the spear hero, get up and close, the sword hero get up and close and like fight things, but they kind of just use their power, like keep using the long range powers.
Yeah, and it's kind of like not very game like either, because the shield, he's not out there like tanking or anything really. He's also long range distance shielding.
Right, like the best. The best offensive weapon is the shield, it seems. Because of the Rage Shield. But, like, it's kind of, like, funny and, like, kind of dumb in a way. It's like, oh, the shield's. I don't. It kind of like breaks like game as well because like the shield's lower level, but it's like doing more power and stuff. It's like game wise, it does make sense, but I mean, show wise, it's okay. But it's still, it's just, I don't know. I don't like how everyone has long range abilities, I guess.
It's fine for them to have long range abilities, but when that's all they're using,
that's
like,
a better way to put
like
it.
Like you're saying, pew pew pew. It's like, woo, yeah, pew pew. But the queen does kind of arrive in Icicle Prism, and then we get to see Naofumi use some blood sacrifice ability that he just kills the Pope flat
That was
out.
hardcore as See, that I enjoyed. Those are cool. Like, moves like that are cool. It's like, holy.
He pulls him up and then just pierces him like through every part of his body, just spikes, and it's like, ooh,
that was intense.
Let's get it.
I'd like to see battles with a bunch of moves like that than just, shooting stuff.
It's like, we're gonna drag it out. At least you're ending it like this. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Let's get this guy. Screw the Pope.
Yeah. But it kind of ends with Naofumi, I guess he was ripped to shreds or something.
Well, he had to sacrifice his own blood.
Right, he like
ability,
exploded of blood. And
it was a lot of blood.
It was a lot of blood.
Probably more than what his body actually holds, but the queen will save him, as she says. I will save him.
I will see. Let me introduce myself.
Obviously.
Let me take this time to introduce myself. Introduce you. And then I'll save you.
Yeah. Well, it's called the Rising of the Shield Hero, not the burrowing of the Shield Hero, bearing of the Shield Hero. So
burrowing? Is he a mole?
Yeah, apparently.
I'm sure he has a mole shield. I wouldn't be surprised.
I had such a good joke lined up there, I ruined it.
I think it's better. I think the burrowing of the Shield Hero is better.
He can't handle it anymore. He's going into his little hidey hole in the ground.
He's like, what? I'm done with this.
But yeah, it's just a lot of fighting. Of course, he asks the other heroes for help at one point. I guess that's kind of reaching out. But other than that, it's really not a whole lot.
Right. I understand they kind of use like combo moves, like him and the Spiel Hero. He's like, I'm going to hit you, and then stuff like that. But in the end, it's just Naofumi doing it, I feel like if you cut literally...
But the queen did more than the other heroes.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if you cut the other heroes and just had the queen use her like ice move and then Naofumi use, his finishing move, the result would be the same. Like everything else before that was kind of just had no impact, it felt. But yeah, that's it really.
That's it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll say 5. I'll say it's average. Like, the fighting is very, for a show that's like supposed to be about these heroes, the fighting is not as enjoyable to watch. Like, no one wants to watch, we touched on it, no one wants to see these pew pew long range battles all the time. Like, have them like get up. Maybe it's because the nature of their enemy. It's a guy who's just, it's pretty much one guy using these, he's using the long range attack, so they just counter. But still, like, it just doesn't, they feel no impact with their moves, really, I guess. Besides Naofumi's finishing move. That was amazing. But also, we touched on this again, the repetitive, Rage Shield, saved by comrades. It's like, alright, you're kind of overusing it. It kind of doesn't feel, like, every time he goes into Rage mode now, I'm like, it's not like, oh, will he come back from this? It's like, this again. Like, that's how it feels. So yeah, I thought it was, like, average.
Yeah, I'll agree with the 5. And like you said before, like, this show just feels dragged out a lot of the times, actually. I guess the one thing coming from the reading side is you get through these chapters hella quick, so it's not like you don't have to worry about the dragging out feeling, but it's like, it doesn't seem like they're good. I feel like they could have just had the queen get there much sooner and actually just progressed into the show even more than, like, having this guy pull out, all these abilities. He's like, oh, here's my illusion spell that doesn't really affect anyone that much. Like, who cares if it affects the other heroes? They're not doing anything anyway.
Right. This fight was like, what, 2.5 episodes? Or 2-ish episodes?
Yeah.
It was a long time for... Seemed like an easy to end fight near the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he probably would have just used his curse shield at any point anyway. He does it every time he's in.
I know, like that's his go.
He just does it all the time because everything's stronger than him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just use my rage shield," and then he takes care of it.
His team's there,
so who fucking cares, right? Just he turns it on, and he gets to keep using it after he gets brought back. So it's like,
right?
Why is he still able to allow to use it? Why can he control it? I don't know, but
you think the dragon would get tired of trying to,
convince him,
right?
Like,
he's
all
like,
right, man, just fucking use it,
right? Just your team's on it. I give up. I'll be your friend too. Whatever.
It's almost trying to be like the Nine Tails in Naruto, but at least the Nine Tails was like there was consequences to using it. He couldn't just get pulled back, and it's like
there were pretty. There feels like there's no consequences. It's just, oh, we're going through this again. Well, yeah, that's it really.
That is it.
I will say this show kind of started on high for me, and it's like it's going downhill.
It is kind of like I hate comparing stuff like source material. Like I like to keep them separate, but it does. But when you're dragging everything out in like anime, it definitely feels a lot more repetitive, especially when you keep doing the same thing with the Spirit Hero over and over.
Right.
Whereas when you're reading, you just kind of blaze through it, and it's not really as effective or whatever. So it is kind of whatever. But the point is, we're done.
All right, that's it. It's spiel time.
As always, the only blood sacrifice we need is yours to hit that like and subscribe button. I ain't blood sacrificing. You guys can do it. And
Thank you.
Next time. Peace out.
See ya.